We'll give everyone another minute here, and then we'll jump right in. All right. It is officially 9 o'clock, so we are going to go ahead and get started. Let me pin this for everyone. All right, cool. We're going to jump right in, guys. So I know we'll probably have some people jumping on in the next minute. Amber, good to see you. What we're going to be doing and covering today is really just blog posting, the hows and whys of it, and why it's such an important thing to be doing for SEO. If you guys aren't familiar with the term SEO, it essentially stands for search engine optimization. And basically, it is optimizing your rankings in search. And when we think about search, specifically, we're going to be talking about mostly Google today, since that is probably one of the most popular search engines, or is the most popular search engine. And Google has two different rankings that it uses. So we have Google search ranking, which is pretty much what shows up when you search anything in the bar. But then you also have a directory search, which is your Google map listing as well. So different things are going to affect your map listing and what order you show up, as well as if someone searches martial arts near me, what order you show up there. And really what we're going to focus today is some optimization strategies for you guys to help search higher, or to rank higher in search, while at the same time showing you guys how you can use the blog post that we give you to use that as a tool to really increase how visible you are online. So the very first thing I want to talk about is why blogging actually helps. Okay, I'm assuming that everyone has some sort of blog element on their website. Okay, frequency of doing blog posts, I think at the very minimum should be one per month. I think ideally getting it to one per week or multiple per week is amazing, but I also understand that everyone here is an entrepreneur and we all have a giant to-do list that never, ever ends. So with this being said, I would start with just making a goal for once per month. When you get consistent with that, go to twice per month, and then go to 4 times per month. So you're doing it weekly. What we're going to do is we're going to help sort of shortcut this for you, because in your Relentless University, if you guys go under Done For You Dojo, there is a blog post section in there. And basically what we do is we give you 3 months of blog posts at a time. So there's 3 for kids martial arts, 3 for adults, 3 for fitness. If you have a combination of any of those programs, which I know many of you guys have kids and adults, it is okay to do 1 kid post and 1 adult post in the same month. I probably wouldn't do them on the same day, and we'll get into that, the why behind that a little bit in just a second here. But feel free to use those. They're there for you guys to be able to save time and just be able to copy and paste and put up. So again, that's in your Relentless University. If you go in the Done For You Dojo course in there, you will see a blog post section that is ready to go for you, copy, paste, and you're off to the races. Now, let's talk about why blogging actually does help with your search ranking. So if we think about one of the elements that Google's algorithm looks at for determining your ranking when someone is searching martial arts in your area, is something called index coverage. Okay, so what indexing is when Google pretty much starts crawling the internet through every single website, and what they're doing is they're looking for updates to pages so that they can update their search results. So one of the things, or one of the reasons why this is so important, is because if your website is never getting updated, there's never new content added to your website, when Google starts crawling through every website out there to see what updates are being made, if your competitors are updating and doing blog posts, Google's going to continue to nudge them up a little bit more. And if your website has just sort of been stagnant, not really updated too much for years or even a year, most likely every time Google is indexing, they're not seeing any updates on your page, which means they're not doing anything to increase your ranking. There's more elements to it, obviously, than just indexing, but it's a pretty big one. So I recommend a couple of easy ways to do this is, number one, the easiest is blog posts. You just put a new post up. 2 is switching out checkout pages if you have those embedded into your website, okay, when you do a new offer, make sure the checkout page URL changes and everything. That will help as well with indexing. Also, just refreshing your pictures is a good way to get an easy updated index for Google. And then also just updating your website copy. One of the things that I've noticed is when you use a website service, in most cases, and this may have been updated recently, but in most cases, the copy that you have on your website is very similar to the copy that other martial arts schools have on their website. Okay, which means it's not really making you stand out that much from the other martial arts websites out there. So going in and actually redoing the copy, whether you use ChatGPT or not, but updating it, even if it's just like a very simple update, it doesn't have to be completely rewritten, but doing those updates periodically is going to help to increase your search engine optimization as well. So just going out there thinking about how can we continually do that. See, a lot of people now are adding like their Instagram posts to their website, so it automatically updates. That's a quick and easy way. Now, Instagram isn't super search friendly like it would be if you just put a blog post up there, but every little bit helps to increase your ranking through the index search that Google does. The second part of this that's really going to help is something called backlinking. So what backlinking is let's say I create a blog post on my website, and let's say that blog post gets shared by other websites. Okay, this would be considered backlinking because another website may write an article and include your blog post in it. Okay, or someone might do a social media post, include your blog post in it. The nice thing about this is Google looks at backlinks. Okay, when someone does this, they look at this almost like a peer review. Okay, it's almost like saying that this other website is recommending your page and your content, which is essentially telling Google that what you are putting up is valuable because other people are sharing it. It's very similar to how social media works, right? If I put a post up on Instagram or on Facebook or on TikTok and all these people start sharing it, basically what that's telling the algorithm is that, hey, this content is relevant and it's actually making an impact with people. So we should probably increase the visibility to it because so many people are already sharing it. Blog posts aren't any different, okay? Which means when you guys create a blog post, it shouldn't just be a secret that stays on your website, okay? It should also turn into a social media post that links back to your blog post, okay? It should be an email that goes out to your members. It should be an email that goes out to your leads with a link to that blog post. Your goal is when you create that blog post to send as much traffic to it as possible. Okay, blog posts are also great as a boosted post on Facebook. So typically what we do, and you guys can probably go to the Move Martial Arts Facebook page after this and just see an example on there from last week. But what we'll do is once we create the blog post, then we'll create a social media post that gives a quick little recap of the blog post, and we'll direct them to the link to read the full source. So now we have that post sending traffic to our website. And then what I would recommend is anytime you do that, boost that post. Because if we think about most of the time that we're putting paid advertising in play on social media, it's usually because we're asking for something. We're asking for a lead. We're asking for a sale. It's so important to make sure that we are continuing to warm up our audience and actually providing value to them. Your blog post is a way to deliver value, okay? While at the same time showing them what you guys value as a business, what your culture is like, what you teach in your business. So it is advertising still, but it's done in a more value-driven way than just putting something out there that says, hey, buy this trial for $21 today. All right, so it is going to extremely help with that side of it. The other thing that's cool is your ad ninjas can retarget people that are engaging with your social media posts. So if you are doing blog posts and people are sharing it through social, we can target all the people that are sharing it in your area that are relevant. So it just helps to provide a pool of more high quality audience members than we might normally get if we just did a broad target audience on Facebook. Okay, so there's other benefits to it as well. Third thing that we want to think of when we're doing blog posts is the way that we've structured it is we give you all of the copy because that's the most time consuming part of creating a blog is writing the copy. So we give you all the copy, but what I would urge you not to do is just copy and paste text to your blog post, publish it, and be done. Okay, you do want to have supporting images at the very least. If you have video to go with it, that's awesome too. One of the things that we do at Move that is pretty easy to copy is when we have a Mat Chat, I will take that Mat Chat, I will throw it into ChatGPT, and I will tell ChatGPT, hey, create a blog post using our SEO keywords based on this Mat Chat. And it'll create a blog post to our target audience that takes that Mat Chat, sort of reformats it like it should be for a blog post. So it's actually still helping us to create, to increase search ranking. But at the same time, it's not like I have to spend a lot of time creating extra content for a blog post. I'm taking a Mat Chat I already have, just pasting it into ChatGPT and telling it, hey, create a 1,000-word blog post for this, or however long you want to make it. Okay, and then make sure that if you're putting that up there, there's images or video to go with it. So a cool thing you can do is you record a Mat Chat, you put it up with the blog post about the Mat Chat, and you're good to go. Otherwise, if you're not sure what images to use for things, it's about martial arts, just use images of smiling kids in your school. Use images from class, something that shows the experience, that ties what they're reading back to the experience within your school. Super easy to do. The other thing that helps with is Google image search. It's still something that's going to help you to get more website traffic and show Google that your website is relevant. So if I'm not using any images in my blog posts and I'm getting a lot of traffic to these posts, which will happen over time, there's no image helping me with my search ranking. There's no image there to help. So I'm losing out on a massive opportunity. So when we're doing blog posts, just make sure you guys are adding some sort of relevant image. I would encourage you to stay away from AI images in your blog posts, because right now I feel, and there's a lot of my mentors that sort of feel this way as well, that AI images are starting to overcrowd the marketplace, where everything is AI generated. So when AI first came out, it was almost like a disruptor, because you would be like, holy cow, that's not real, and it would disrupt your scroll. But now there's so many AI images that almost going back to what we were doing before and doing more native things, like kids actually in your school, is going to be performing better and being more relevant to your audience. So just keep that in mind. I know AI can be faster sometime, but it is faster and everyone's using it, which is also creating a giant red ocean at the moment. Okay, fourth thing for blog posting, Google records something called dwell time. This is what dwell time is. Dwell time is the length of time that a reader spends on your page or on your website. Okay, why is this important? Dwell time is super important because it tells Google in an indirect way exactly how valuable your content is. If people are only spending a couple seconds on your website or on your page when they go to visit it, Google's seeing that, and it's pretty much telling the algorithm that, hey, this stuff isn't really hitting home with people. It is not relevant to them. It is not valuable to them. The longer that people spend on your website, the longer that people spend on a specific page on your website, that is actually recorded into Google, right? And then the algorithm looks at that and starts seeing, well, hey, if this website has a lot of people spending a lot of time on it, it must be pretty valuable, and we should probably increase visibility to this website. So when we think about a normal martial arts website and throwaway blog post for a second, there's not a lot of readable, digestible content that makes people want to stay on the page. Okay, yes, it'll explain a little bit about the program. Okay, but people can scroll pretty fast through that and get a good gist just by reading the headlines, right? So what is the thing that's actually keeping people on your web page? Where is the value on your page that makes people stay there longer than a few seconds? All right. There's been a lot of times that with my one-on-one coaching clients, when we first take them on, we'll do an entire social media audit. We'll do an SEO audit. I look through everything that they're doing online. And one of the first conversations that tends to happen with them is they say, hey, Adam, like, I have so many more reviews than my competitors, but they're ranking higher than me in search. Why is this happening? And then I look at their website, which is a very bare bones website. It might convert well, which is great. Okay, but it's just sort of bare bones. Then I look at their competitor's website, and the website looks worse. Not a great website, but they're updating it weekly. They're putting new blog posts out constantly. And they just have more content for people to spend time on the site with. Okay, and that's why in most cases that even if you have more reviews and a better looking site than someone, you have a competitor that's beating you. A lot of times it's just relevancy of content and value delivered through the website that's actually going to keep them on there for a longer period of time. So again, using blog posts as a tool to increase dwell time on your website is just feeding that algorithm even more. Okay, the algorithm is like a monster. We got to constantly feed it to see our search ranking increase. Okay. All right, I'm going to continue on to one other thing here with this specific thing, and then I want to go into actually the how-to of accessing the blog posts, and then making sure that you guys are able to find them easily, and then know how to use them properly. Okay, a couple of things that I want to focus on first with this. So my notes just collapsed here. Okay, is something called click-through rate. All right. So click-through rate is something that marketers track all the time. Okay, in most cases, we're tracking what's referred to as like a paid click-through rate, meaning that there's some sort of ad spend driving people to a website or a ad. Okay, and the click-through rate is, let's say we have 1,000 people that see this website or 1,000 people that see this ad. What percentage of them are actually clicking the link and then staying through to the page loads? Okay. In most cases, paid traffic will help a bit, but Google also is pretty good at discerning what is paid traffic and what is organic traffic, right? And the way the algorithm works is it rewards organic traffic much more than paid traffic, which means that it rewards organic click-through rates or organic link clicks more than paid link clicks. Okay, so when we're sort of dissecting those two things, if I'm only running ads, okay, on Facebook, I'm probably not having a great organic click-through rate to my website just through search. Okay, and if I'm not updating my site, if I'm not giving people new things to look at on my website, it's most likely because, or it's most likely affecting my organic click-through rate, which is what Google is looking at and saying, hey, like the only people going to the site are people that are getting sent here through paid traffic, which means search-wise, and people actually searching this information out is pretty low relevancy, okay, which is going to affect how they rank you as well. So how do we increase organic click-through rate? Well, we've been talking about blogging this whole time, which helps, but you want to make sure there's things on your website that is not just transactional information. Okay, we in the martial arts industry do a great job with what's called a direct response website, which is a website that's built out to get a direct response from the consumer, which is to click a link and purchase, right? We suck at organic click-through rate in getting people just to want to come to the website because there's something of value on there. Okay, a couple ways to increase this strategically is a really easy way is have a members section on your site that your students can log into. They can watch curriculum, they can access content. That will get people coming back to your site consistently and accessing the site without needing paid traffic. So that's a really easy thing that you can do besides having a blog post as well. Okay, and if you think about just the websites that you interact with the most on a daily basis, okay, think about what some of those sites are and why you continue to go back to those sites. For me, I like ESPN, I'm looking probably every morning. It's part of my coffee routine. I'm just getting sports updates and I go back. And if you think about just using ESPN as an example, why do people keep going back to it? Because it's giving them the most relevant, up-to-date information for sports. So I know that every time I go to ESPN's website, that there's going to be something new for me to access or read there. And if you think about most of the sites that you visit frequently, the reason you keep going back to those sites is because you are looking for new information. You're looking for, you're looking to be updated on something. You're looking to see something new. So for us that are managing our websites, what are we doing to constantly bring in new information to our website? And guys, you can even have blog posts on events that you're doing. Okay, those are great to do because that's a really easy link to send out to someone else to share. Like I guarantee, if you guys look at most of your local Facebook pages, okay, so in Arizona, for example, there's like the best Arizona kids activity pages. There's Arizona moms pages. There's all these different pages. Having a blog post that's searchable Okay, not just using a checkout link, but having a blog post that's searchable, explaining about your upcoming community event is going to bring a lot more traffic to that event than just doing like a Spark or a My Studio checkout page. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Spark and My Studio checkout pages and any CRM, I'm nothing against those CRMs. I love both of them, but all of those pages are not getting indexed with Google. They're not showing up in search rankings. Okay, and we probably wouldn't want them to because they're not directly tied to our website. But if I create a blog post on my home website about this upcoming event, you can embed the checkout page on there. You can have a button that takes them to the checkout page from there. But this blog post gives them relevant information. It's probably got location-specific information for your business, which is super important for search ranking. Because if I'm searching martial arts Chandler, and I have a bunch of blog posts on my site that mention our address, that mention this is the best event in Chandler, this is the best kids martial arts program in Chandler, Arizona, and it's constantly doing those local keyword call outs, guess what's going to be more likely to happen when someone searches martial arts Chandler? It is going to elevate your page higher up in the search because Google is going to look at your website and be like, oh, this website has martial arts a bunch in it. It has a bunch of keywords for Chandler, Gilbert, and local areas. And then also, guess what? They have relevant content constantly because they're constantly putting blog posts up and new things up. Let's push this to the top. It's super helpful, okay? And then the last thing on SEO before we go into more of the how-to of this that I want to bring up is running Google Ads is going to be super important if you guys want to show up first in Google while you work on increasing your search ranking. So one thing that we do is we do smart ads for most of our clients at Relentless. And a smart ad is a keyword-based ad, which means when someone searches martial arts near me, we want you to be the first thing that shows up as a sponsored post, okay? So for example, let me see if I can pull up a good example here. I'm going to do Chicago. Let me screen share with you guys. Of course, I do Chicago and it's not showing me the right example. That's okay. All right, so let's do, I'll just do martial arts near me, which Google is not. Okay, here we go. All right, so I do martial arts near me. You're going to see that the first thing that comes up is a sponsored post, okay? And this is going to happen in almost all searches you do. This sponsored post is from a Google Smart ad that's being run, okay? And then all the other native organic search options are going to show up below that, okay? Now, one thing that we want to keep in mind is if we want to sort of cheat the algorithm, then we do a sponsored post. But it would be way better if, let's say this JKA Karate of Arizona showed up here and also showed up here. Okay, they're number one in organic search. They're also number one just because they have a paid ad running. The other strategy that's pretty interesting that we've done before as well, that you guys are welcome to discuss with your ad ninjas, is if you have a competitor that is great at capturing a lot of online traffic, we can also do keyword targeting based on your competitors. Meaning, and a good example of this is Orange Theory over here. And let me see if they still have this running. We started doing marketing for a bar fitness studio in Arizona. And when we first took them on as a client, we did a quick sort of search just to see what their online reputation was and sort of how they were coming up in search. And when you would search bar classes near me, the first thing that showed up was an ad for Orange Theory. And if any of you guys are familiar with Orange Theory does not do bar classes, okay? But the ad that they were running on Google was for keywords that had to do with bar classes. So they're obviously trying to take traffic away from people looking for bar studios, which is smart, okay? And it said, a step up from bar, Orange Theory Fitness. So they're doing a direct call out to what people are searching for and then saying, hey, sort of forget that thing, this thing is better. And they're essentially taking traffic away from local bar studios and directing it to their website. And there's nothing unethical about that. It's just how Google ads work. Same thing you guys can be doing. We had a really good ad, and if you're a Taekwondo school, I'm going to apologize because our ad was sort of going against Taekwondo schools in our area. But we found out that by us, Taekwondo was a pretty popular keyword search, and we are a more like combat sport gym of boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai type of stuff. So we did an ad for people that were specifically searching Taekwondo. So we said something like Taekwondo is part of the old way. This move is part of the new way, or something similar to that. And it was just to take traffic from people that were searching for Taekwondo schools. And that ad did great for us. So there's different things that you can do with ads as well on Google to help increase your search ranking optimization. Now, for you guys, I want to make sure it's easy for you to navigate and find where the blog posts are. So let's do that next. Let me get to the right page here. I'm gonna. All right, and let me screen share. Okay, so I'm on the back end here. Your guys' site looks way different than this, but let me get to the right area here for everyone. So I'm going to go in the Done For You Dojo course so I can make sure that everyone knows how to access this. And then what I will also do is after this video, I'm going to post in the Facebook group, the I Am Relentless Facebook group that is for all of our agency clients. And I want to show you guys in there. I'm going to share a blog post that did really well for us that's not included in this. It was just for Move that we made it, but I'm going to share it with you guys so you have it. Once you guys are done going through your onboarding, remember this unlocks everything else, including your blog posts. So we have Relentless monthly blogs here. Okay, you're going to see that we have 3 set up for kids, 3 for adults, 3 for fitness. Basically what we do is every quarter we add 3 more. Okay, so you have 1 a month, and as we continue on, you're going to pretty much develop an unlimited like blog set here. It's going to give you a Google Doc link that you just open up. Now, here's the way that I would use this, okay? If we just go the easiest, fastest way, because you just want to get something up, just copy and paste this, okay? Post it, add a picture, okay? We have a meta description. When you're doing a blog post, it's going to ask you for something called metadata, okay? Or a meta description, or it might just say a blog description, depending on what platform you're using. This is where you're going to copy and paste into that meta description. The only thing I would suggest changing to this when you add it into the meta description is if you see learn how martial arts can transform your child's confidence. The only thing I would make different about this is learn how martial arts in Chandler, Arizona can transform your child's confidence. So I would just put some sort of local call out in your meta description, because this is what is helping with the initial indexing. All right. So I would make sure that there's something location specific in here. Okay, everything else you guys can copy and paste and put up. The other thing you can also do is if you are frequently using ChatGPT or you're super familiar with ChatGPT, you can copy and paste this into ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, this is our blog post for the month. Can you just make this more specific to ABC martial arts? And if you already have ChatGPT trained on your brand, it makes it super simple to do that. If you guys would like a training on how to customize ChatGPT for your brand, I'd be happy to do that for you guys as well. Just let me know in the chat, and we can do a separate like one-off video for that. That won't necessarily be a webinar on how to train ChatGPT. But this is like done for you guys, and literally you guys go through all of the different blog posts. There's all different topics. They all sort of tie into the values that we teach as a martial arts school, or the benefits that your students receive as a result of training at your school as well. So it's all with those things in mind. And then we specifically focus on creating this with keywords that are relevant to parents, especially for the kids martial arts one, parents that are looking for things like focus, that are looking for athlete development, that are looking for their kid to gain more confidence, to learn more respect. So it goes hand in hand with exactly what you guys are already teaching and preaching within your martial arts schools. It makes it super easy to implement. And that was our goal with this. We just want to make it simple so you can copy, paste, and go. Yes, please, to the video on how to train ChatGPT. Awesome. I will do that within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Jason Strong, thanks for that message, brother. But yeah, that's pretty much it today, guys. It's pretty simple and short webinar, because you guys have the blog post done for you in Relentless University, so use those. Also, just in case you're not aware yet, I did post this in the group a while back. but we do have an app for Relentless University now. So if you search in the App Store for Relentless University, it's just on iOS now. I feel like the Google Play one should be up any day. But if you're on iOS right now, you can search Relentless University in the App Store, and it'll show up as an app that you guys can use, and you can access everything right from your phone or tablet. Super simple, just like you would. There's also a community feature in there where you can ask questions, and anyone that's enrolled in that course will get to see your questions, and you guys can interact that way as well. Last thing I want to leave it with is any questions on SEO on blog posts that I can answer before we sign off today. Give you guys a few seconds. Okay, if not, no worries. You can also message me afterwards. And as always, guys, if you guys have any questions just in general about running a school or any of that stuff, or maybe you're seeing some of the stuff we're doing at Move and you're like, hey, like how are you doing that thing or this thing? I'm an open book, guys, so just feel free to message me at any time on Facebook, and I'll be happy to help you guys however I can. Appreciate you guys for joining us today, and then we'll see you guys next month for our next monthly webinar. Thanks, everyone.